What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Sam from Team Xamax1 here, and today guys I'm coming at you with a deck profile you guys have all been requesting for. I got you guys the brand new Monarch deck profile for the post-October 2019 format, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Guys, I'm just very excited now that Aether is finally back at 3. We got Stormforth back at 3, and the only thing we're missing now is literally pantheism. In this video, I'll be explaining to you guys all my card choices and the reasons why I play them. And for those of you who are here on the channel for the very first time, welcome to the channel. Consider hitting the subscribe button and make sure you guys turn your notification bell to get notified each time I upload videos. I'll be absolutely amazing. In celebration of the Dark Side Dimensions World release on Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, I'm hosting a massive giveaway. In this giveaway, you guys have a chance to win t-shirts and a giant card-sized Dark Magician. Not only that, but you guys have a chance to win the grand prize, which is a free, all-expense-paid trip to Tokyo, Japan in 2020. This trip is exclusive to those who live in the USA only, so if you live in the US, make sure you guys take advantage of this awesome giveaway. All you gotta do to enter is by checking the link in the description box below, and all the details will be there as well. Good luck guys, and without further ado, let's get started with today's Monarch deck profile. Start with the monster real quick. You're gonna play, of course, triple Aether and the Heavenly Monarch. I'm just really happy that she's finally back at 3 from this brand new Forbidden and Limited list. What makes Aether so powerful is that she grants you the ability to actually play on your opponent's turn. So there's so many ways you can actually disrupt your opponent's plays. And what you can do with Aether is that once Aether is summoned, you basically get a special amount of 2400 attack or higher and 1000 defense monster directly from your deck. She can special summon a second copy of herself, and also at the same time gets access to Erebus and also Kuraz directly from the deck as well, which is really good. And there are so many ways you can actually disrupt your opponent's plays with Aether and also Monarch Stormforth. There are ways where you summon Aether, activate Aether's effect, special summon a second copy of Aether directly from the deck, and then during the end phase, the one that you special summon off Aether will basically be returned to your hand, which is amazing because on your opponent's turn you can summon that Aether that was summoned off the first Aether to disrupt your opponent's plays with cards like the Monarch Stormforth. And all the big monarchs have the ability where you can tribute summon themselves by using one tribute monster, and also at the same time when they're summoned you basically get to send 2 monarchs spawn trap cards with different names from your hand or deck to the graveyard. So having Aether back at 3 just gives this deck a huge boost in my personal opinion. Triple Aether, the Heavenly Monarch. Next off, you're gonna play, of course, triple Erebus, the Underworld Monarch. What this card does is that when this card is summoned, you basically get to send 2 monarchs spawn trap card with different names from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and then you can return 1 card from your opponent's hand or field directly to the decks. And this effect is on target. What's really wonderful thing about Erebus is that he's actually able to recycle your monarchs from your graveyard back to your hand by discarding a monarch spawn trap card from your hand to the graveyard. And also at the same time, there are plays where you can actually summon this card on your opponent's turn, so that way that you can just use this card as another form of disruption while your opponent tries to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? So triple Erebus. Last but not least, for the bigger monarchs, we're playing, of course, 1 Kuraz, the Light Monarch. When this card is summoned, target 2 cards on the field and destroy them, and then the controller of those cards that were destroyed gets to draw 2 cards. So there are combos where you can actually unbreak your hand or destroy Prime Monarchs on your field, where you use Kuraz to pop your Prime Monarchs that's on the field to basically draw multiple cards. You can pop, your return and also Prime Monarch. So not only does it help you draw 2 cards, but it can also be used as a disruption card on your opponent's turn with Aether. But the only downside about that is that your opponent's obviously going to be drawing 2 cards. So most oftentimes, I actually use Kuraz's ability to actually pop my own cards, so that way I can draw more combo pieces. So Kuraz, the Light Monarch, is actually very good in this deck. So only 1 copy. After your squires, you're going to play, of course, triple Idea, the Heavenly Squire. This card is obviously your combo starter. Basically, once Idea is summoned, special summon Eidos directly from the deck. When this card is sent to the graveyard, you basically get to add one of your banished monarchs spawn trap cards from your banished zone back into your hand, which is really important. And that's the only way that you can actually recycle pantheism constantly, is by using Idea's ability, right? So this card is the combo starter of your entire deck. You want to see this card and then a big monarch in your opening hand, definitely a must-off in the deck. And then last but not least, we're going to play, of course, triple Eidos, the Underworld Squire. What this card does is that when this card is normal summon or special summon, during your main phase of this turn, you can tribute summon 1 monster in addition to your normal summon. So what you want to do is that obviously you want to normal summon Idea, activate Idea's effect, special summon Eidos directly from the deck. Most important thing about this card's ability, it's a secondary effect where you're able to banish yourself from the graveyard to special summon Idea back from the grave, which is really good. So Eidos, the Underworld Squire, is definitely a must-off in the deck, and it's one of the most powerful cards in this deck in my personal opinion. So triple Eidos. Last but not least, for our tribute summon monsters, I'm playing, of course, double Vanity's Fiend, the 1 Majesty's Fiend. It obviously locks your opponent from special summoning. So against decks that are heavily reliant on special summon monsters, Vanity just takes care of that matchup with ease. Also at the same time, Majesty's Fiend locks your opponent from activating monster effect against decks that utilize a lot of danger cards or Orcus. Majesty's Fiend just becomes really good against Salamagrades. So these cards just has overall really great coverage in today's metagame. The only downside about Vanity's Fiend is that it's not searchable, whereas Majesty's Fiend, you can always search this card directly from your deck to your hand because it has Monarch stats. Unfortunately, I couldn't find space to maximize myself. I'm actually playing triple Vanity's Fiend in my main deck, and the main deck is just super tight, especially with Aether coming back to 3, so I think that this ratio just works wonderfully for me at the moment. So that's pretty much it for all the Monarch cards you're playing in the deck. Before we get started with spells, if you guys want to help support the channel, make sure you guys get your Egyptian God card playmat today in the link in the description box below at tx1.com and use my coupon code TXS10 to get 10% off on all your playmats. Tenacity, you reveal a Monarch in your hand. The only thing you can't reveal, obviously, is Vanity's Fiend because it doesn't have Monarch stat, and then you basically get to add any Monarch Spawn Trap card directly from your deck to your hand. So triple Tenacity is nice. Next I'm going to play, of course, triple Domain of the Monarch. This card alongside Monarch Erupt, Vanity's Fiend, Majesty's Fiend. It's one of the awesome win conditions for this entire deck. What this card does is that if you have no cards in your extra deck and you're the only guy that controls a tribute summon monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. If you have Domain, Majesty's Fiend, or Vanity's Fiend, and they can't out that, you basically just win the duel. The wonderful thing about this card is that whenever your tribute summon monster attacks, it gains 800 during the damage calculation only, so it's actually able to help you beat over a problematic monster that your opponent has on their field. So the really wonderful thing about this card is that it has a really awesome utility effect where you're actually able to reveal Monarch monster like Erebus or Aether, like a Monarch monster with 2000 attack and 1000 defense in your hand, and basically reduce its level by 2. This card's the best floodgate in the deck. Locks down Solomon Greats, Orcus. Any deck that's relying on the extra deck, they're basically not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And alongside Majesty's Fiend and Vanity's Fiend, you pretty much just win the game. So Domain is nice. Next off, obviously, triple the Monarch Stormforth with Aether at 3. This card just becomes so much better. The interaction with the Monarch Stormforth and Aether is just absolutely ridiculous. What you can do is that, okay, on your opponent's turn, you want to have a Prime Monarch on the field, and also at the same time, your opponent needs to at least have one monster. So what you can do is that you can activate Aether's effect as Chainlink 1 to banish a Monarch Spawn Trap card from your graveyard, and then as Chainlink 2, change the Monarch Stormforth, so that way that you can use your opponent's monster to tribute summon for the Aether. You got rid of one of their monsters, especially against, like, you know, Solomon Greats. They're just really heavily reliant on the normal summoning, right? The interactions of these two cards is just ridiculous, and the fact that you're able to play on your opponent's turn now effectively and also very efficiently with 3 Aether and also 3 Stormforth makes Monarchs really, really good in today's metagame, and gets rid of Colossus, gets rid of Titan, gets rid of any problematic monsters going second, which what makes the Monarch Stormforth really, really good. So triple Stormforth. Next, triple Return of the Monarch. When you tribute summon a monster, you can act one of these effects. You can either add a 2800 attack and 1000 defense Monarch directly from your deck to your hand, or you can add a 2400 attack, 1000 defense monster directly from your deck to your hand. This card searches out all the Monarchs in your deck, and it searches out Majesty's Fiend, which is really good. The only thing that it doesn't search in your deck is Vanity's Fiend. So last but not least, obviously, the one Pantheism of the Monarchs. The only thing that we're missing now is 3 copies of this bad boy. Obviously, within the next ban list, I feel like this card will come to 2 before it goes to 3, but once this card comes back to 3, Monarchs will just be at full power. Now you guys all know that Monarch, sometimes you can just potentially draw break hands, so we need Pantheism back at 3 as quickly as possible, but 1 is good enough. Essentially, you're playing 4 copies of this card because you're playing triple copies of Tenacity, right? So you can always see Pantheism in your hand. Pantheism with Prime Monarch is just absolutely broken, and you can always recycle back Pantheism from your banished pile back to your hand using Idea's effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, choose 3 Monarch Spawn Trap card that's in your deck, your opponent chooses one of them, and adds it to your hand, which what makes Pantheism really, really broken. So Pantheism is really great. You won Foolish Burial, you won 1-for-1, and last but not least, you won Reinforce of the Army to run off for your God card 1-ofs right here. These 1-ofs are just really good. Foolish Burial dumps Idea, dumps Eidos, dumps Erebus. 1-for-1 gets access to Idea, and Reinforce of the Army gets access to Idea directly from your deck to your hand, which what makes these cards all really good. Alright guys, off to our traps. I'm playing, of course, double copies of the Monarchs Erupt. I don't know why not a lot of people are playing this card in this version of Monarch specifically. Like, this card is so good, guys. The reason why True Dracos and all these tribute summon decks are so great and so wonderful is that they have floodgates like the Monarchs Erupt to literally shut down your opponent from playing the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, this card alone, if your opponent has no out to this card, you literally just win the duel. If you have Monarchs Erupt with Majesty's Fiend against Solomon Greats, they can't even out this. Like, the only way they can out it is obviously Foxy, but if you have Majesty's Fiend on the field or Vanity's Fiend on the field, they can't even out this card. This card just provides you so much more of a win condition over the Thestalos and also the Mithra. These cards just provide so much more coverage. Yeah, like, obviously looking at your opponent's hand and taking a card out of their hand is nice, but having a searchable skill tree in the deck to lock your opponent from playing the game is even better. Monarchs Erupt with Domain and Majesty and Vanity's Fiend, you basically just win the duel. So double copies of that. Double copies of Prime Monarch. The Prime Monarch is really great. Once per turn, you can target 2 Monarch Spawn Trap cards in your graveyard, put them into the deck, and draw 1 card. Also, at the same time, you can banish a Monarch Spawn Trap card from your graveyard to special summon this card from the grave, so that way you have an additional monster for your Aether fodder. And there are so many unique plays of Prime Monarch on the field and also Aether. What you can do is that if this card is face up on the field on your opponent's turn, you can activate the Prime Monarchs, target target 2 of your Monarch Spawn Trap card that's in your graveyard, and then you can just chain Aether's effect. That is one of the target cards that you target with a Prime Monarch, and then summon Aether, and Prime Monarch will resolve. It will shuffle back the one copy of the card you target to the deck, and you basically just draw one free card. And the reason why this interaction works is that the Prime Monarch says that once per turn you can target 2 Monarch Spawn Trap cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck and draw one card. It doesn't say shuffle both of them to the deck and then draw one card, which is pretty nice. 2 copies of this card. There's 1 escalation of the Monarchs. I love escalation. This card is so good. It makes me play on my opponent's turn, which is really nice. And the fact that I'm able to tribute summon for Vanity's Fiend and Majesty's Fiend during my opponent's turn with cards like Stormforth is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, I'll set escalation and set Stormforth. On my opponent's turn, I'll just activate Stormforth. When my opponent tries to make a play, I'll activate escalation. Tribute their monster, summon Majesty's Fiend. Like, it's so broken. The ability to play on your opponent's turn is what makes this deck so good. Last but not least, triple Solemn Judgment. In any control-based deck, Solemn Judgment is absolutely needed. If you open up with Erebus, Solemn Judgment, Monarch's Erupt, and Domain, you're not losing that game. Protects your back row, protects your floodgates, protects your monsters. Solemn Judgment just has overall really great meta coverage in today's metagame, so you must play triple Solemns in your deck if you want to play Monarchs competitively in today's meta. So, yeah guys, that's pretty much it. The extra deck, we play 0 cards in your extra deck because we want to utilize Monarch's Erupt and also Domain of the Monarchs to our full advantage. So that's why we're playing 0 extra deck. So let's move on to your side deck. For your going second cards, you're going to play, of course, Pankratops. This card right here is, you know, really good back row removal, really good spot removal, free summon going second. This card's really great. Obviously, against, you know, those, you know, combo heavy decks, you want to play, of course, Nibiru, the Primal Being, the 1 Frost Blast. The Monarchs for going second. This card's really good against back row heavy decks. You can basically destroy 2 Spawn Trap cards on the exact same turn. Last but not least, we're going to play, of course, Triple Evilly Match. So that's pretty much it for your side deck cards going second. After going first cards, we'll play, of course, Double Eradicator, Epidemic Virus. This card's really good against all back row based decks. Going first, you can just summon Erebus, set Eradicator. You basically just win the duel. If you don't see Erebus on your first turn, you can just basically summon Aether, summon Erebus from your deck, and on your opponent's turn, if you have cards like Escalation, you can summon, you know, Erebus on your opponent's turn, so that way you can trigger off cards like Eradicator, which is really nice. And the last card I'm playing in the deck for going first is obviously Triple. There can be only one. This card is insane for this deck, for the sole being that every single Monarchs is a different type. Aether, Fairy. This is a Fiend, Spellcaster, Warrior. This one I believe is either a Rock or a Thunder, and a Zombie right here. So every single, like one of these guys right here, like this deck can utilize this card the best because all these cards right here are just different types. Like, yo, look at this. There's no conflicting types whatsoever. So, like, there can only be one. It's just absolutely broken, especially Majesty's Fiend against Salads. Like, you're not losing the duel at all. So that's pretty much it, guys, for the main deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. That'll be absolutely amazing. Let me know what your thoughts are. What are your personal opinions on Aether, the Heavenly Monarch, coming back to 3? I think the deck just got a little bit of a big boost, you know, with Aether being at 3 and also Stormforth, and also at the same time with Stormforth back at 3. But the only thing that we're missing now is Pantheism. So once you get that at 3, Monarchs will be back. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Get your awesome TX1 playmats today in the link in the description box below. This is your boy Sam from Team Mr. Sam signing out. Alright guys, peace.